Imagine waking up tomorrow to a world that has simply stopped. There is no gentle morning hum from the kitchen, no glow from your nightstand, and no response when you tap your phone. You flick the wall switch, but the darkness remains. When you head out to the driveway, the engine won't even cough. As you look down your street, a heavy, unnatural stillness has replaced the usual rhythm of life. This isn't your average power failure. You are standing in the wake of an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse that has instantly turned the sophisticated technology of the modern world into useless heaps of plastic and metal. Most people are unaware of the true scale of this threat. According to the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, a significant pulse could dismantle the very foundations of our society, wiping out the power grid, crippling water treatment plants, and freezing our entire transportation network. In a heartbeat, every microchip and circuit board in your life is fried. Your high-tech gear and your digital connections are gone. But there is a silver lining. There are basic low-cost items, things you can find in a junk drawer or pick up for the price of a lunch that will function perfectly regardless of what happens to the grid. Here at SHTF, we focus on the reality that having these 11 essentials is what separates those who panic from those who prevail. I've been in the survival game since 2012, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's that fancy gadgets are no substitute for the fundamentals. Today we're breaking down 11 household items that are immune to an EMP, won't break the bank, and are far more valuable than the contents of most expensive bug-out bags. First up, mechanical hand tools. The Department of Homeland Security has warned that in a major grid-down event, we will be forced back into a world of manual labor. For tasks we currently automate, we've become so reliant on cordless drills that we've forgotten how to use our own hands. I remember a simple deck repair years ago that came to a screeching halt because a battery died, and no one had a regular screwdriver. That was just a minor weekend annoyance. In a permanent blackout, it's a catastrophe. Statistics show the average person hasn't gone 24 hours without electricity in their entire lives, and over half of young adults have never even touched a manual saw. You need to secure a solid hammer, a full set of Phillips and flathead screwdrivers, a wood saw, and a hand crank drill. These aren't flashy, but when a pipe bursts or you need to secure your home, a wrench you turn by hand is worth more than a pile of dead power tools. At SHTF, we believe in being the person who can fix things, not the person begging for a repairman who isn't coming. Next, we have to address your kitchen. Within the first few days, most people will realize they can't even open their food. Your electric can openers and fancy coffee machines are now paperweights. FEMA suggests keeping 3 days of food, but they don't always mention that you need a way to get into it. I learned this the hard way during an ice storm, when I had to hack open a can of beans with a hunting knife, nearly losing a finger in the process. Go buy 3 manual can openers, the old-fashioned kind with the crank. Keep one in the kitchen, one in your car, and one in your emergency kit. While you're at it, get a manual coffee grinder and a hand-powered whisk. These tools were designed for an era before the light bulb, and that is exactly why they are your best friends now. If you have wheat or grains stored, you need a manual mill to turn them into flour. Without these simple mechanical devices, your food storage is just a heavy box of maybe later. Fire is your next non-negotiable. It provides warmth, the ability to cook, and the only way to make water safe to drink. But more than that, it provides a psychological anchor in the dark. You need a massive supply of lighters and waterproof matches scattered throughout your home and vehicles. You can get a bulk pack of lighters for almost nothing, and they will provide fire for years if managed correctly. Don't overlook ferrocerium rods either. These metal strikers produce sparks in any weather and last for thousands of uses. Given that nearly half of American homes depend on electricity for heat, a way to start a fire is the only thing that will keep you from freezing when the furnace dies. Before we move on, I want to help you take the stress out of this process. I've put together a free resource called the 90-Day Budget Food Plan. It shows you exactly how to build a 3-month supply of food for just $50, including specific shopping lists and meals that require zero electricity to prepare. It's the exact system I use myself. You can find the link in the description and the pinned comment below. Moving to the most vital resource, water. Most city water systems rely on electric pumps, When the pulse hits, the taps will run dry within hours. You can go weeks without food, but you only have 3 days without water. In a crisis, people lose their minds over water. You need a gravity-fed filtration system like a Berkey or a Life Straw. These use simple physics to scrub out bacteria and toxins without needing a single watt of power. Supplement this with a large supply of purification tablets. $10 gets you enough tablets to clean 50 liters of water. If you have a well, an electric pump is a liability. You need to install a manual hand pump. Without a way to clean the water you find in nature, you're just trading thirst for a deadly case of dysentery. Lighting is your next priority, specifically the kind that doesn't need a circuit board. Total darkness is a psychological weapon that breeds fear and mistakes. While LED lights are great, they eventually run out of juice. You need layers. Start with bulk emergency candles. Some can burn for 100 hours straight. Add oil lamps and kerosene lanterns, which provide steady light for very little fuel. Hand crank LED lanterns are also excellent. A minute of cranking gives you plenty of light to navigate. Just remember to keep your light contained so you don't advertise your resources to the entire neighborhood. For staying informed, a battery, powered or hand crank radio is essential. When the cell towers go dark, information becomes the most valuable currency. A NOAA weather radio will give you updates on the situation that you won't get anywhere else. In a world of silence, being the only one who knows where the relief centers are or which areas are dangerous is a massive advantage. Statistics show that nearly 90% of people are completely unprepared to receive emergency broadcasts. Don't be one of them. We also need to discuss security. If you have a digital safe or a smart lock on your door, an EMP will lock you out of your own gear. Your high-tech gun safe will become a vault you can't open when you need it most. Swap your digital locks for mechanical Onesdiel's keys and physical deadbolts. Simplicity is the ultimate security. When the grid fails, ask yourself if you could reach your self-defense tools in 60 seconds without power. If the answer is no, you need to change your setup today. Transportation is another huge hurdle. The EMP Commission report suggests that most modern cars will be bricked instantly because they rely on dozens of microchips. Your bicycle, however, will work perfectly. It requires no fuel, no software, and can weave through the gridlock of abandoned cars. Keep your bike maintained and have a basic repair kit ready. In a collapse, a bicycle is the fastest, quietest way to move. For climate control and cooking, you need to look beyond the plug. If you're one of the millions who rely on electric heat, you need a backup. A wood-burning stove or a simple backyard fire pit can save your life in the winter. Learn to cook over an open flame now. It's a skill that turns a pile of wood into a hot meal and a warm home. Don't forget medical supplies. In an EMP scenario, hospitals will be overwhelmed and 911 won't pick up. You are the medic. Build a comprehensive first aid kit with bandages, antiseptics, and plenty of over-the-counter meds for pain, fever, and stomach issues. If you have prescriptions, try to keep a 1-month buffer on hand. Knowledge is just as important as the bandages, so keep a physical first aid manual in the kit. Finally, keep a stash of physical cash and barter goods. Digital banking will be non-existent, while cash might work for a short time. The real economy will shift to trading. Stock extra lighters, batteries, coffee, and water filters. These are things people will be desperate for, and they will allow you to trade for the things you missed. We've covered 11 pillars of survival here at La Rysurvivar. None of this requires a bunker or a fortune. It requires a shift in mindset from how do I plug this in to how does this work manually. The government knows our grid is fragile. They've issued executive orders to address it. You don't have to be a victim of a fragile system. Pick one thing from this list today. Maybe it's that manual can open and start building your resilience. History shows that it isn't the strongest who make it through, but the ones who prepared while the sun was still shining. Stay steady, stay focused, and keep preparing. I'll see you in the next one.